In Streetball, I asked you to give me some questions so that we can answer them together on ISIAY. Leave your questions on the comments below, and I'll answer some of them on the next episode of ISIAY. So let's go ahead and answer some questions while I'm doing my art. Since, this is like killing two birds with one stone. I'm making progress on the art that I'm actually doing. And at the same time, I'm also doing an episode for CI. So I think this is just really the best way to actually answer these questions. And again, the answers that I'm going to give are going to be brief, but, they should still be pretty useful and should be what you're looking for. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the first question that we have then. Alright, so firstly, the first question that we have is from the Cup 1D. Can you make a video fully explaining uniforms? And the answer to that is no, I will not make a video because uniforms are actually, fairly easy to understand. They're pretty simple. All you really need to know about uniforms are these. Number one, getting uniforms will just increase all your stats by 2. And I mean literally all of your stats, okay? All of your stats are going to be increased by 2. So that means steal, pass, block, power, everything. They're going to be increased by 2. Number 2, to actually unlock the club uniform, your club needs to be level 3. Okay, the club that you join needs to be level 3 in order for you to actually unlock the uniforms. That is the only way that you're getting uniforms, is through clubs. And to actually get that, you will need to actually get to level 3 first. The club, I mean. The club needs to get to level 3 first before you can actually unlock it. Now, the third thing you need to know about uniforms is that to actually customize the uniform that you have, you will need to spend rubies. Okay. I don't know about buying it. I've never actually bought a club uniform. I've never had my own club. So I don't know if buying the uniforms themselves will actually cost rubies, but editing it, customizing the uniform itself, it actually will need or will cost you some rubies. So yeah, get ready for that one. So that's pretty much all you really need to know about uniforms. Oh, actually, here's another one. Once you actually buy a club uniform for a character, even if you actually leave the club, the uniform's gonna stay with that character, okay? You're not actually gonna get the uniform, or the uniform isn't actually going to go away. You're gonna keep it. You're gonna keep the uniform if you actually leave the club. So yeah. And lastly, also, if you buy a uniform for a character, it's only gonna be for that character, okay? If you buy a uniform, for example, for Havok, if you buy a uniform for Havok, that means Havok has the uniform, but your other characters do not. So yeah, keep that in mind. But yeah, that's basically all you need to know about the uniforms. Other than that, it's pretty much just that simple, There's no other information that really needs to be said. So no, I'm not going to be making a video about this. It's just very simple to understand. It doesn't really need that much explanation. So yeah, thank you for that question. The cup. So next is Paulo Ramirez, and his question is, which talent in general is best for centers or rocket? I have rebound expert and contest expert as of now. They don't stack as far as I know. If the main An assist support talent is the same. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is box out expert or screen expert for Emma or Robbie make a difference instead of two talents I mentioned? Of the two talents I mentioned. That's a good question actually. So we'll break that down one by one. Firstly, which talent in general is best for centers or rocket? And the simple answer to that is just rebound expert. That's really the only thing that you're looking for when you are a rebounder, or if you're using, let's say, Robbie and other rebounders, you're basically gonna want rebound expert, because rebound expert actually gives you rebound priority. So yeah, that's why you're actually gonna need that skill. Next, if you actually aren't using a rebounder, then I'd say having contest expert instead would be pretty good. I don't actually remember what the name of the talent is, but it's the one that just gives you more power, you know. So say you're actually just a Big O or a Victor who don't actually really excel at rebounding too much. I suppose Big O does now, but like Victor, for example, or someone like let's say Big Mike, they don't actually excel in rebounding. They're pretty bad at it. Someone like Daisuke, maybe having more power might help with the buff to power forwards. I'm telling you, Edward is dunking on everybody right now. But yeah, anyway, back to the main question. I'd say rebound expert for most centers and such, for Rocket as well, since he's a rebounder and it gives you rebound priority. But for other characters who actually don't actually excel in rebounding, already not that good at rebounding, then I'd say giving them contest expert, the one that actually increases your power by a little bit, is the best one that you can give them, the best talent. And let's go to the second one. I have rebound expert and contest expert as of now. Again, those are actually really good. Wow, those are the ones that I've mentioned. Yeah, so yeah, those are gonna be what you're gonna want to get in the first place. So you're already pretty much set. You're pretty much set for your Rocket. I'd say try to get another rebound expert with another character, and Rocket should be better with that. But if you're struggling to actually get it, don't worry about it. Contest expert is good too. So yeah, thank you for that one as well. So we'll actually there's a little bit more here. Is box out expert or screen expert for Emma or Robbie make a difference? Actually, it does, but I'd say it's not really that important. It doesn't really offer enough for you to say that it's more worth it than getting the two that you've mentioned so far. So I'd say keep the ones that you have, because I'd say box out expert is only for Butterball, or maybe Edward, or not Edward. Maybe Andrew and Emma might benefit from box out expert, but really what you're gonna want, or not box out, screen expert, but really what you're gonna want is for Butterball to get those. If you're having a big, you're much better off with the first talents that you've actually set. So yeah, thank you for that, Paulo Ramirez. Now next up we have Ankhoingo. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but yeah, he basically pretty much just copy and pasted the question of Paulo Ramirez, but his question is basically what's the best talent for defenders or ranger in particular. He says that he already has interference expert and block specialist. So again, those two are actually what I was going to say that's best for you. It's interference expert or block specialist. And since you've already got those, that's really good. But yeah, If you're looking for the better one between the two, I'd say the better one actually is Block Expert. That is if you're going for a max block ranger, okay? Keep in mind, that's only if you're going for a max block ranger. If you're not going for it, then, and if you're a Nikolai, especially if you're a Nikolai, you are going to want Interference Expert for sure. If you're a Nikolai, I'd say go for Interference Expert. Having that max will definitely help out with all the, you know, BS that's been happening. With all the buffs to small forwards. It's definitely going to help out. If you're a Nikolai, definitely go for that Interference Expert. And if you don't have Interference Expert, I'd say just go for Contesting Expert as well. Or the one that I said before for Rebounders. The one that increases power. If you don't have the two talents that we talked about with Anghoingo's comment, if you don't have Interference Expert or Block Specialist, Contest Expert should be good too. The one that increases power, that should actually be pretty good as well, since it just makes it so that it's gonna be a little easier to actually block, you know, dunks in general, toss dunk and such. It makes it a little bit more consistent. But yeah, in general, what you do want to get is Block Specialist or Interference Expert. You already have what you actually want, so you're good with that as well. So thank you for that, Anghoingo. So next up, we have Pan Fantasy Gamer. So his question, I've actually seen this days ago. I've actually checked this one because it did. I'm actually not sure what to answer with this. So his question is that, what does the Assassin Affix do? Well, Assassin Affix just makes you know, layups faster, and it does work with smart layup as well. So that was his first question, but the one that he actually doesn't really know the answer to as well is, he currently has 121 close shot, but it's not activating for him. The the Assassin Affix, it's not activating for him. And honestly, I'm not really sure what to answer here. I've never actually seen this happen before. I don't have close or Assassin Affix on any of my accounts. I don't have Silver Wall Feeder. You know, I really hate that. I really hate that character. If you guys are familiar, I really don't like him, so I don't have him as well. So I'm not really sure what to answer here, but to answer the first question, the Assassin Affix just makes it so that close shot actually releases faster. Your layups just release faster with the Assassin Affix. That's pretty much what it does. So I'd say having it with Silver Wolf is definitely a good idea, especially with a smart layup. Probably one of the best out there, along with Natalie with having Assassin Affix. So yeah, thank you for that, Hand Fantasy Gamer. Next up, we'll talk about okay, we got Ledude Niggins Bob over here. So his question is, what should I prioritize as a free-to-play player, and how do I get limited characters as a free-to-play player? Best shooting forward other than Camille, and it is purchasable as well. So let's answer this one by one. So firstly, we'll talk about what you should prioritize as a free-to-play player. And honestly, it's not just free-to-play. If you're a new player in general, what you're going to want to do is, when you're playing, make sure that you pass the ball and make sure that you shoot the ball when you're wide open. Okay, You want to keep passing the ball if you're not wide open, but if you're wide open, don't pass it either. You need to shoot that ball, okay? So what you're gonna want to prioritize is getting used to shooting the ball properly, effectively. You're gonna want to actually be effective with the ball first. That's really what you're gonna prioritize when you're actually playing the ball or playing the game. And in terms of characters, I'd say you should prioritize whatever it is that you actually want to play as. So if you want to be a scorer, make sure to prioritize characters that are good at scoring. If you want to be a point guard, make sure to prioritize on doing a point guard's job, upgrading the point guard first. You're gonna want to prioritize maxing out one character first before you actually buy another character. Since at Diamond there's gonna be banning, so you're gonna want to actually prioritize one character first. Okay, make sure to ace one character first, and then you can go and actually buy another character. That way, you have a powerful character that doesn't get outmatched by all your opponents, since he's not powerful enough by then. So yeah, make sure to max out one character first. So his other question is, how do I get limited characters as a free-to-play? The answer is just events. Right now we also have that loot box, we got that ticket thing that they're trying to pass off right now, so you can get characters there, though it's not really, getting it isn't really easy. You need to be very lucky. Not only that, there are some events as well sometimes that shows up that gives you a chance to get it, but again, you got to be very lucky. What I'm trying to say is, it's pretty much not really, realistic for you to get a locked character, unless you actually spend some money. So I'd say just prioritize on playing with free-to-plays or characters that are actually purchasable, so that you get good with them, and you don't have to rely to those characters who actually needs to be bought first. So yeah, you can get limited characters, but I wouldn't count on it unless you actually pay, or you play for a very long time, and just keep on spinning. I wouldn't really count on it. So I'd say instead focus on actually getting the purchasable characters first. And with his last question is, who is another top small forward that's purchasable other than Camille? So non-purchasables would definitely be Randy and what do you call this? Randy and Rika. Randy and Rika are definitely the top SFs that are purchasable, but ones that are not purchasable, honestly, I can't believe I'd say this, but Julian, with just how good the small forward buff has been, Julian was buffed really good, man. If you know what you're doing with Julian, you are going to do a lot of damage to all your enemies. His shots barely miss now. His scoring ability is still very much fun, so it's not really going to get old. You're going to want to keep playing Julian. His dunking, it remains unchanged, but with just how good he has been at 2-pointers, it becomes very, very powerful as well. So yeah, I'd say Julian is actually the second character next to Camille when it comes to actually being good on on being a small forward that is purchasable. You're gonna want to use Julian. So yeah, that's the character that I'm going with. So yeah, thanks for that. Let's do the Niggins Bob. And so let's move on to the next one. Next up we have Ikatasan. Ikatasan, you know. So Ikatasan is asking, how much account did you have, bro? So I actually have 10. Technically, I have, I think, 12. I have 12 alt accounts in one main, but 2 are pretty much inactive. I pretty much don't use it anymore. The others, I don't use a lot, but at the very least, I still do visit it and use it sometimes. But 2 of them, I really don't use anymore. So I'd say right now, I have 10 accounts. 10 alts, 10 alt accounts and 1 main. My main being Gold Guard YT. And yeah, again, I have 10 alt accounts. Next up, also, are you planning to make a video about blocking smart layup as SF or SG? Kind of overwhelmed with decent Silver Wolf team comp. That's so understandable, brother. I feel you there. It's very annoying to come up against Silver Wolf. You gotta nerf that guy. But yeah, actually, I am actually planning to do that. That's actually a good question. I'm planning to do another Secrets Unleashed video with that as well, on how you can actually block Silver Wolf a little easier as a small forward or a shooting guard. Maybe a point guard. I don't really think that one is actually. Maybe it's possible, but it's like very unlikely. But as a small forward or as a shooting guard, yes, I actually am planning to make a video about how you can actually stop it a little bit more properly when using that. So yeah. And lastly, you're gonna make a video about Randy front dribble dunk block tutorial 2. I was blocking it once as Rico a long time ago, but can't repeat it. So he got a little lucky and actually blocked it once. Yeah, about the sprint dunk. I'm actually thinking of doing that as well, but in all honesty, I'm not too sure yet, since even I still struggle with that. I really don't like the current meta. It's so dunk focused, you know? Like, it's so tough to actually defend characters now, since everybody can score. What Teshin said on one of his videos was 100% correct. Right now, what you need in the game is really good defense, because everybody can score right now. Literally everybody can score. With all the contested stuff that's going in, and you know, dunk spam being dunk spam. What you really need right now is good defense. So yeah. To get back to the question, maybe. I'm not actually sure yet if I'm gonna make a video about Randy's, what do you call this? Randy's sprint dunk. I'm not too sure yet, since I myself still actually struggle against that skill. I do it a little better than others, but you know, once I make a video, I want to make sure that I can genuinely stop the skill, or say the best, you know, strategies on actually how to stop a skill before I actually share the information, since again, a lot of high tiers don't want you knowing this stuff, man. So make sure to make sure to watch my Secrets Unleashed videos. But yeah, question is maybe. I'm still not sure. I'm thinking of doing it, but we'll see in the future. So yeah, thank you for the questions, Ikatasan. Very appreciated. So next up, we have Fatma. So Fatma asks, I have 20 talent rerolls. Currently, I have Resistance Expert, which boosts shot accuracy by 7%. Should I keep or spin? That's a really, really good question, and the answer here is, it depends. Do you have a character right now that specializes in shooting people's faces? For example, David, Camille, Julian, Friedman, any of those characters? Then the answer is yes. You need to actually keep that. Make sure to keep that if the answer is yes. That if you're fighting a Julian, or if you're using a Julian, if you're using, you know, Camille, those characters, David, the ones that shoot on your face and doesn't care. Maybe Rika. I'm not too sure about that since she basically doesn't need the buff anyway. But anyway, if you have a character, you're using a character that just shoots on people's faces, make sure to keep that skill. That is the best skill that you can give them, since it basically makes pump fake, fade away 2-pointer still possible. You know, 2 pump fakes and a fade 2-pointer, just a normal shot. Definitely always gonna go in. It's pretty much not fair in all honesty, but yeah. If you have characters like that can score that easily, or specializes in shooting on people's faces, yes, make sure to keep that skill and don't reroll. That's pretty much the best talent that you can actually give them. So, you know, make sure to just keep it. Just keep it, since it's the best talent that you're actually gonna get anyway for them. So yeah, thank you for that question, Mr. Fatma. Very appreciated. Alright, now, next up, we have Gamao. We have Gamao over here. His question is, what do you think of the screen at the spot where the big has to block dunks meta? I hate it. I despise the current meta. I hate that strategy so much. It's basically for toss dunk. It's for Zach. I hate it, okay? I legitimately despise that strategy, and this meta in particular. It's just not fun to come across, man. It's so hard to actually, you know, it's so hard to block that effectively, especially if you're solo. If you're a solo big, you pretty much just pray for mercy if you actually don't have Robbie and the enemy gets Robbie and they do Edward toss dunk spam. You just have to pray for mercy at that point. You're not blocking a single thing if they know what they're doing, if you're a solo big. I hate that strategy so much, man. I just really hate that strategy. So yeah, there's your answer. I hate it. I really hate it. Okay, it's brain dead. Basically, it doesn't require skill. What skill do you need? Just spamming toss dunk, just spamming that stupid Zach dunking bull crap, and just it doesn't require skill. You know, I fought some Koreans there. Their defense was so terrible. They were letting us shoot 3-pointers very easily. They were not defending at all properly. Yet they still won because I was solo big. They were using the Conan, or not Conan, Edward Robbie toss dunk strategy. They were using it, so I got one block, but yeah, it's just such a stupid current strategy. I hope the devs do something to actually nerf dunking, and I think they'll do a good job if they actually dunk or nerfed screening in general. Make sure that doesn't happen again. Give us more leeway and such. If they do that, then maybe it won't be so bad. But as of right now, I hate that strategy. I despise it. It is a garbage strat. Doesn't require skill. It's just not fair. It's just not a good strategy, and it's not a good meta right now. It's not fun. So yeah, sorry about that ranting. I had to let out how I really feel. I really hate that strategy so much, man. But yeah, thank you very much, Gamao, for the question. So lastly, we have Kenny Rogers. We have Kenny Rogers, and I know you're a fan of my videos. So Kenny Rogers asks, is there is no big Joanne guide I see here on YouTube. I would really appreciate if you make one because I just bought her recently. Thank you in advance, Idol. So I'm actually planning to make a breakdown of Big Joanne as well, but I have a lot of videos already scheduled, so I will make one. I'll make you know what, the next character breakdown that I'm gonna do is gonna be about Big Joanne. But just to warn you, I already have some scheduled videos, so that might take a while to actually show up. Might take a couple of months. I think it's gonna take a couple of months, so just wait around for that. But yeah, I will make one eventually, and we'll see how the video goes. So yeah, thank you very much for that question as well, Kenny Rogers. So yeah, that was it. I'm pretty sure those are all the questions that's currently been asked. So guys, make sure to keep asking questions so we can do this next month as well. That's it for this episode of ISIAY. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.